What is up, everybody? Stacey Blackwood here with Jake Thomas for another edition of Tide Talk Live to preview the Alabama versus Vanderbilt matchup, the SEC opener for the Crimson Tide this upcoming weekend. Jake, first of all, how you doing, buddy? You excited for some SEC football?
Man, I'm excited for it. Been a fun couple of weeks. A lot of upsets, man, and in the college football world right now. Thankfully, Alabama escaped their upset against Texas a few weeks ago. But man, I'm excited. Football's here, and App State, man. I don't know what else to say about them. I know we're going to preview
Man,
Alabama, but
what a
dang,
Cinderella season
I
they're
mean,
having right now.
they
It's
are.
crazy.
It's crazy,
But we're here to talk Alabama and Vanderbilt,
right?
not other teams. But
Mm-hmm.
before we do that, as always, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content here at Tide Talk Live. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and while you're at it, jump in the comments and let us know your score prediction for this Alabama Vanderbilt matchup to open up SEC play for the Crimson Tide. Jake, this is not really your average Vanderbilt team. I know the schedule has been semi-weak. But they're 3-1 to start the year. There's not many times you go to play Vanderbilt around this time of the year, and they've already got 3 wins. So this is a little bit different. But just kind of your quick thoughts on this Vanderbilt matchup, what you see from this team, and how Alabama matches up with those guys, and what you're kind of looking to see from Alabama this weekend.
Matchup wise, of course, Alabama, matches up well. Vandy really don't against these Alabama. I know they're SEC opponents and SEC guys on the Vandy team, but I mean, Alabama's got 325-pound linemen, and Vandy's probably biggest one's probably about 280 at best. So it's not don't really play well in the trenches for Vandy. They do have a lot of talent. Especially quarterback, Rod, and then the new guy that come in this past week and looked really good. He threw for 4 touchdown passes. But, for Alabama's sake, I just want to see improvement, continue improvement. Offensive line continue getting better. Bryce and his wide receivers continue getting a repertoire built with each other, improving. The wide receivers, getting their routes and getting open. Offensive line blocking, continue blocking good, running game get going. Just the basic things that we haven't seen Alabama do yet, and I emphasize yet because I know eventually they're going to start running. They're going to start running over everybody. It's just like we talked about on our review show. I mean, we feel like it's just that close for breaking out, and it could be this week that happens.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good time of the year that you really need to start finding out who you are and building your team's identity. I know that starts the first game of the year, but right now, a quarter of the regular season is now complete.
Yeah,
You've played 3 games. You're opening up SEC play. It's time to kind of figure out who you are and what kind of team you're going to be. And I'm with you, Jake. It's time to let that running game get established. It's time to start seeing a little more 8 to 10 play drives instead of 3 and 4 play drives. It's time to let Jahmyr Gibbs, Jace McClellan eat. Let them guys touch the ball as much as possible because, like you also mentioned, Jake, those receivers are still young. They're not. They're getting. Technically, they're getting older by the day, but they're not gaining tremendous experience day in and day out. That's experience is a a year by year type thing, and it's those guys still got a long way to go. But I'm with you; they can eventually get there. But that's still going to be a couple weeks away. But
right.
now is the time to kind of make your identity as a physical football team. And I feel like the offensive line is starting to play more physical. I like what Darian Dalcourt is doing. I like what Tyler Booker is doing when he comes in. Tyler Steen has been phenomenal at left tackle. J.C. Latham has been fantastic at right tackle. So getting a more physical rushing game going offensively to create more, longer drives for the offense, I think is something that could be big for Alabama to start building on this week against Vanderbilt.
Absolutely. Like we said, the Russian attack is going to get there. So far, Jahmyr Gibbs has been everything that we thought he was going to be. He's a threat out of the backfield on the passing situations. He's a great check down for Bryce. but the key with Jahmyr Gibbs, he's got to get up and down. I mean, he accelerates as quick as it comes. Jase McClellan's a great accelerator. So get these guys going and then build the offense around them. And I love Bryce, but Alabama in their past years have been a dominant rushing attack and being a bruiser, with the ground game. Now, I just feel like we've gotten away from that here in the last couple of years. I know we've had some great talent at quarterback, but we do have some, some receivers that are not there yet. They're still young, like we said. It's time to go to the more experienced guys, and that's your running attack.
Yeah, and we brought this up in our recap show of the ULM game, Jake, where we're not even sure the coaching staff is real sure who they want to play at wide receiver just yet. Yeah, right. I think they know they want to play Trayshawn and Jermaine Burton, but outside of those two guys, they want to play Brooks some too. But do they want to play Bond? Do they want to play Prentice? Do they want to play Kendrick Law? What are they going to do when JoJo Earl comes back? When Tyler Harrell comes back? So they're really trying to figure out still who their options are going to be at wide receiver. So that's really still a work in progress. But like you said, we know what we have in Jahmyr Gibbs, what we have in Jase McClellan, even Roydell Williams, and even Trey Sanders and Jamarian Miller. You know that you have talent in the backfield. So let's start building this team's identity around the proven guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and like Jase McClellan, and let those two kind of be the bell cows of the offense. I know it's hard to take the ball out of Bryce Young's hand because he's just special. If me and you were out there, he would somehow make us look like Division I athletes because he's just that special, Jake. But it's time to let the guys, like you said, with the experience and with the playmaking ability of Gibbs and McClellan, start to make more plays, because Jase is a fantastic player out of the backfield as well. I mean, we saw that in the early portion of last season before he got injured, Jake. He was really instrumental in the passing game early on last season. And Gibbs right now, he's right around 150 yards rushing, 150 yards receiving. So he is really that Swiss Army knife for this Alabama offense. And him and Jase need to touch the ball more than anybody else, in my opinion, on this offense. Then you look at a guy like Cameron Latou at tight end. It's probably the third best option at the moment for Bryce Young.
Right. I agree 100%. And we haven't really touched the defense yet, but defensively, we talked about in our review show a few days ago. We just, the defense has done what the defense has done this year.
Yeah.
And they are, I think they're giving up like 9.5 points per game. I think if you add the 16 or the 19 that Texas put up, other than that, it might be less than that. They are doing exactly what I thought they would do this year. They're smothering the crap out of runs. You're not going to run against them. We talked about we need to see improvement on the defensive line. Before the season started, we've seen that. Justin Aboybe seems like he's in the backfield a lot. Jaheim Otis has been in the backfield. Byron Young, DJ Dale, all these guys on the defensive line is dominating and keeping. If they rush up the middle, they're not going to get. But if they get a yard, they get 1 or 2 yards or less. So they keeping the middle clogged up. And then linebacking core. I mean, my gosh, Jalen Moody and him and Toa has just been outstanding. They're probably the two best inside linebackers in the nation right now, in my honest opinion. To be honest about it.
Yeah, the defense is just full of studs, and they're playing really well right now. And I think this is really an interesting matchup for Alabama's defense, not because Vandy's just, littered with a ton of talent, Jake, but they're coming in with playing two quarterbacks who are kind of different. A.J. Swan is more the prototypical drop back passer. Then you have Mike Wright, who's a really good passer, but he's also, has the dual threat capabilities of beating your defense with his feet. So Alabama's got, to scheme around a two quarterback system that has really been effective for Vanderbilt this season. So I'm anxious to see how Alabama does that because that's not an easy preparation when you're trying to prepare for two, kind of different style players in 1 week. And they also got a receiver, Shepard is his last name, who's one of the best. He's been one of the best receivers in the SEC this year. So it'd be interesting how guys like Terran Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, how they match up with him on the outside. Do they move him into the slot some to match up with Brian Branch? So kind of what Vanderbilt does with Shepard is also going to be something to watch because, like you said, Alabama's going to stuff the run, Jake. I mean,
Right.
I don't care who they play. It's going to be tough sledding against the run against Alabama. So it's going to be more about what the defensive backs do in this game and what the linebackers do in controlling guys like Mike Wright if he's in the game at quarterback and his ability to run the football.
Absolutely. And I know this is the Alabama versus Vandy preview, but that preview show for next week is going to be great because, like you said, Alabama stuffs the run and Arkansas runs the ball really well. So that would be for next week. But for this week, like you said, it is all that hinges on the defensive backfield. And they all play great, so far this year. Helms has played great. Branch has played great. Battle. Even the two corners, I am very impressed with Terran Arnold. He, everybody thought that Rich was going to be that guy to come in and secure that second cornerback spot, but Arnold has taken over and he's done a great job. So I'm very impressed with him. Of course, Kool-Aid just does what Kool-Aid does,
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way the corners have played. Terran Arnold feels like he's starting to come into his own
Yeah.
there, opposite of Kool-Aid McKinstry. But I think this is going to be a battle that really goes on all season long. I think you're going to see all four guys play a lot. Of course, Kyrie's kind of nicked up right now. He hurt his ankle on Brian Branch's punt return for a touchdown, so he might not play this week. But Eli Ricks is going to play. Kool-Aid's going to play, and it's going to be hard to keep Terran Arnold off the field as well. So I think all season long you're going to see all four of those guys play. Through in different times of the game. So and it's nice to have. We talked about that in the preseason, Jake, of how valuable it would be for Alabama to have four corners that are really worthy of being starters.
Right, exactly. And Alabama's got four that they can rely and go to each week and say, "I want you to win this game for us."
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I don't really want to waste too much time on this Vanderbilt matchup, Jake. Not that Vanderbilt's not going to bring their best against Alabama. It's not going to be just a complete pushover like it has in the past because they're playing so hard for second year head coach Clark Leah, and they believe in what they're doing at Vanderbilt. He's starting to change the culture there, much like what's Penn State's coach now?
Oh, James Franklin.
James Franklin. I knew it was James. I was wanting to say James Robinson for some reason. James Franklin did when he was there a few years ago. But, I feel like they're starting to head in the right direction. But the talent difference is just too the gap is just too wide right now for the Commodores. But with that, Jake, let's go ahead and just drop our score prediction. It's about a 40-point spread right now. As we record this, what's your gut feeling on how the game is going to turn out and your score prediction?
If the Vandy team shows up that played Hawaii, and I'm not comparing Alabama to Hawaii, but if that Vandy team shows up, the first half could be, they can make it close. I'm thinking like 21-10 at halftime. But eventually the depth's going to take over. If they show up the week after and the one that let Elon just pass all over the place and run all over them, it could get ugly in a hurry. I think Alabama probably wins this like 58-17, 58, 58-20. Do they cover the spread? It might be close. If they get a 60 burger, they probably will. But like you said, Clark Leah has done a great job. And I know he did make the comment that Vandy is going to be the best SEC school in the SEC, in the nation. One of these, he didn't say one of these days, but that's what we knew what he was talking about. He's well on his way there. I'm not going to say they'll win the East this year. Like you said, the culture is changing, and this is a different Vandy team from year past. So if Alabama can get the 60 burger, they probably cover. I'm saying 58-17 final.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a weird game. Not that it's going to be real close, but I don't think you're going to get just a huge blowout win from Alabama. More so because I think Alabama's going to shorten the game with their running game, and Alabama's the game's not going to be a real long contest because of big plays. I think Alabama does. I don't think they cover the spread because I just think 40 points in a conference game, it's a lot of points. I think Alabama I think it'll be close to that. I think Alabama wins this game about 48-10, and they're really in control the entire time. And they just, I feel like this is the game where the rushing attack really starts to pay off for Alabama, and you start to see a more physical style from this Alabama football team.
I agree. Yeah, I think the rushing attack's going to have a big week this week. I expect Gibbs, Jace, and Rodell get all their touches that they need.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, that's going to wrap this video up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. And like we said, jump in the comments and drop your score predictions for this weekend's matchup with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Jake has something else to add.
I go and add just one more thing, and this is completely off topic, but it needs to be said. Congratulations to Coach Clark and Alabama soccer, the women's soccer team. They are absolutely killing right now, and they need some love right now. So, girls, continue doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Coach Clark is a great coach. He's done wonders there at Alabama. So, keep it going, girls. You're doing a great job.
Absolutely. Props to those ladies. They're doing fantastic. Excited to see them continue to dominate on the soccer field. But that's going to wrap it up. Like we said, jump in the comments, drop your score predictions. We can't wait to see what those are for this SEC opener for the Alabama Crimson Tide. But for Stacey Blackwood and Jake Thomas, this has been another episode of Tide Talk Live. And until next time, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.